Hi there, folks. Welcome to Economic Observations. Today is the 12th of May. It is a Wednesday evening. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this video is sponsored by the Tanzania School Foundation, a nonprofit near and dear to my heart. If you would like to support this channel, you can click one of the links below and support the Tanzania School Foundation, and I would be thrilled. All right, folks. The last video I put out, we talked about Montana and South Carolina ending the federal unemployment. Well, since then, 9 more states have joined the ranks. Right? You got Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, you got Missouri, Wyoming, Utah. It's just unbelievable. But I've also learned that these states are going to have a very difficult time with economic policies due to their people not having the means to hang on that little bit further, right? So I was doing some research as to who exactly is on unemployment, and yes, I am sure there are people who figure they are getting more from the boost than they would make, and there is some form of that, but there are people who really need it. And I was reading an article about 3 different businesses. One was in Tennessee, one was in Arkansas, and I think the other one was in South Carolina. But they were 3 independent gig workers. They were self-employed. And the pandemic kind of ravaged their business, and they had to take the PPP loans. And their businesses are open now, but they're not receiving a paycheck. Right? So these people are working hard at reestablishing their livelihood, right? What they did for 10, 15 years before the pandemic hit. One guy was a locksmith. He said his business just hasn't been able to pick up. He was making $2,000 a week before the pandemic. He was anticipating that, but it takes a long time when you go from zero up. So these programs that the federal government is giving people some time, just like him. Just like hair salons, the owner of a hair salon might be paying her people, but she doesn't make enough money to pay herself yet. They're riddled with debt, these people. They're back on their rent. They have a lot of expenses, right? So the owners are usually the last ones who get paid, right? Because the boss always eats last. And they've been on unemployment, which has given them a livelihood or a hope that one day that their business can resume to normal. But we haven't reached normal yet. And we all know that it's going to take more time for normal to happen. Normal's not there yet. And I don't know when normal will come into effect in any part of the country. I mean, there are some states that are claiming they're back to normal, but businesses are not back to normal. You have an event planner, or you even have a wedding venue. You have people who are on this unemployment until such time as they can collect a payment from their business. Now, why should they leave their business riddled with PPP loans and go take a job flipping burgers at McDonald's? I mean, that's basically what these governors want people to do. They want people to go out and get these menial jobs. What, everyone is going to be changing sheets at the Marriott? I mean, everyone is going to be in the service industry? Are those the kind of jobs that we really want? Is that all America is about? Yeah, there's a lot of jobs in the service industry that no one's taking. And I tell you, if you ever worked in the service industry, you would know why no one's taking those jobs. And I am sure there's a lot of people who worked in the service industry who, are investing in altcoins or cryptocurrency and making a lot more money. Maybe they started a YouTube channel, or they did something on Fiverr and they're trying to make a go of it. Maybe they joined TaskRabbit or some other entrepreneurial adventure that they can slowly build up until such time that the unemployment runs out. But all these governors in mostly red states decided that, no, we're not giving you that time anymore to start your own thing. We want you to work for someone else. We want you to take these shit jobs for $7.25 an hour or $9 an hour or whatever they may be. There is a shortage of construction workers in Massachusetts. My husband is like a indoor contractor sort of thing. He'll pretty much do anything. He's never been so busy in his life. He's like, can you paint? They're asking him. Can you build? Can you hang things? Can you, anything? He's busy. He's really busy. But the demand for a nonprofit organization is not very busy. But the need for help is great. And that's what we struggle with, right? Need based in Tanzania. It's really challenging right now. They don't have any PPP or extended benefits for people trying to make it work. They just have a real mess with no tourism and no vaccines in that country. Anyway, I also wanted to touch base on the pipeline, Colonial Pipeline. I guess these people hacked it, wanted some ransomware. I guess they paid because they said that it's back open. It's going to take a few days to unwind the bottleneck. But that leads me to thinking about everything else that we have online, right? I mean, the DC police have been hacked, and they too want big money. It hasn't been disclosed how much, but they're releasing crap on people. They're releasing personal information that's not supposed to go out to the public. They have the info. And I don't know if DC is going to pay, but just think about this, folks. They can do it to our banks. They can do it to Coinbase. They can do it to Robinhood. They can do it to the Tanzania School Foundation's website, even though they have no money, but who the hell knows why they would want to do this. But they can get into everything. And you have to start thinking, how safe is everything? For months, I've been telling people, like, diversify, have some cash, have some gold, have some stocks, have a little bit everywhere, because you don't know when something like this can happen to any institution. And it can happen to any institution. So we have to be careful. I mean, I know that there was a run on gas in some of the southern states and in the eastern part of the country. Here in Massachusetts, there was no hoarding going on. It was life as normal. People were just getting gas because they needed gas. I guess we trust supply chain, maybe a little bit too much, but there was no problems here. Every gas station that I passed by today had gas, no long lines. It was normal. There is a house like 3 doors down from where I live that is in disrepair. Nobody's lived in it for 3 years. And I've been trying to do some investigation. I went to the assessor's office. I wanted to know if the taxes were being paid and what was going on, if everything was okay. Talked to a neighbor. It is on the market right now. It's only 1,000 square feet. It is a total write-off. It was built in 1945. And I swear to God, you look in the kitchen and you look in the window in the side door into a kitchen, and the kitchen is literally 7 feet long, and that includes a sink and an oven. It is really small. There's like 2 antique cabinets from 1945 on it. The whole thing would need to be gutted. And I'm thinking about, buying it. I can't buy it at the price that they're asking for because it's just not realistic. But if we can get a really good price on it, it might be a really good summer project for me and my kids. My daughter just quit her job because, well, that's enough story for another day. But it is, I'm thinking about, I don't know, folks, what do you think? Do you think the housing market is going to be strong enough in the next 6 months where if I bought a house for $150,000, put $100,000, maybe $125,000 into it, and we're 16 miles south of Boston, I mean, could we get $390,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, tiny little house, 1,100 square feet? Anyway, something to think about. My daughter is conservationist, so she's really looking forward to working on the yard, and I would love to get my little miss on, some designing. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I got to do something. You can find me at Copley Square on Saturdays. I will be there for the next 3 weeks selling Tanzanian art for the Tanzania School Foundation. If you live in this neighborhood and you want to come by and say that you watched me, I'd love to meet you in person. All right, folks, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will be in touch soon.